All right, everybody. Before we dive into today's episode, we're brought to you by a few fantastic brands that sponsor this show. The first one is Routine. Now, this one has been a sponsor for a long time. If you haven't tried it yet, I don't know what you're doing because I've been talking about them for years. But ultimately, what was Routine designed to do? Well, when we sleep, we lose between a pound and a half of water, mostly just from sweating, something I learned when I first met these guys. Each packet of Routine comes with half an organic lemon, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, Himalayan sea salt, all 6 essential electrolytes, and no sugar. I always like to say it's really just 3 ingredients. It's lemons, it's apple cider vinegar, it's Himalayan sea salt. I dump that into a glass of water first thing in the morning, rehydrate myself. The days I have it versus the days I don't, phenomenal on the days I do. It's one of those products where you feel it immediately. You know when you don't have it. Trusted ingredients, made convenient. These guys, they're the bomb. I love working with them. I've loved supporting them over the years. Give them a shot if you haven't already. Go to yourroutine.com. You can use code ShaneWhite30 at checkout for 30% off your first order. They're also available on Amazon. You can go there, get on subscription. That's what I would do. Get a 30-pack, throw it on subscribe and save, get it once a month. If you like to have more than one a day, or if you share it with folks in your house, you're probably going to need it more than once a month, or get 2 bags a month. Both of those are great options. You can save up to 15% every month on Amazon with Subscribe and Save. All right. Our next guest, holy cow, they have been a guest, but our next sponsor is NeuroRoast. Today's episode is brought to you by NeuroRoast, a company that's dedicated to helping you optimize your brain function and overall well-being. NeuroRoast's flagship product is their premium mushroom coffee, which is made with an organic single origin coffee and their signature blend of 5 different functional mushrooms: cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, turkey tail, and chaga. Mushroom coffee is a new and exciting way to supercharge your day. Unlike regular coffee, which can cause jitters and crashes, mushroom coffee provides a more balanced and sustained energy boost, allowing you to stay focused and productive throughout the day. And with NeuroRoast ground and instant coffee options, you can enjoy the benefits of mushroom coffee wherever and whenever you need it. And here's some great news for my listeners today. NeuroRoast is offering an exclusive discount code just for you. You can use code ShaneWhite, that's just Shane White, during checkout at neuroroast.com to get 30% off your order of NeuroRoast mushroom coffee. Whether you choose the ground or instant option, that's just Shane White for 30% off your purchase at neuroroast.com. And all right, we actually have a new sponsor on the show. Couldn't be more excited. Love these guys. They are also out of Chicago. I have worked with them, supported them, actually invested in them. So if you can't tell, I love these guys. You do now. It's called Haywell. And for any of you who know me, you know I'm into energy drinks. I'm into caffeine, sometimes to my detriment. And Haywell has honestly been a great alternative, not just caffeine or caffeinated product, but it's been a product that I'm able to use at nighttime too, because they have a calming line as well. But really, Haywell, I'll read this to you guys. Modern life can be hard, but your wellness shouldn't have to be. Being well doesn't mean being perfect. Getting fit doesn't mean you have to fit into a mold. We need a reminder that little more joyful steps can add up to something truly meaningful. We can do hard things, but that doesn't mean we always need to be so hardcore. Wellness is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. They created Haywell to be a simple invitation to a new movement for modern wellness where all are welcome, where small steps can add up to something big, where you get more high fives and less side eyes, where you have more fun and less frustration, where flavor and function are equally famous. Wellness doesn't come in a can, but we can help. They've created a line of low-calorie, functional beverages that taste delicious and help you be a little more well in every mood and moment. They're equally proud of creating a more welcoming, realistic, and joyful flavor of wellness culture where more people feel seen, supported, and inspired to embrace a wellness journey that truly feels better for you from the beginning. Haywell is here for you from rise and shine to relax and unwind. Ashley and Britt, like I said, the co-founders of Haywell, I've worked with them for a while now, and they're just unbelievable people. If you guys want to try their products, go to the link in the bio. As I'm recording this, I don't have a discount code, but I'm sure we can get one for you guys. So take a look at the link in the bio. You can go to haywell.com. You can also go to Amazon. They're on Amazon, and it's a great place to get it. They're also available in Target. You can find them in Foxtrot. You can find them in a lot of different places now. They're doing a great job of getting distribution. But I would say the 2 easiest places, livinghaywell.com. If you just Google Haywell, you'll find that pretty quickly. And then also Amazon. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Here's today's show. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Shane White Show. Dean Packingham, you're back on the show. Second time. It's been, I should have looked right before I had the exact date. It's been a couple years, though, since I've had you on. And I thought this would be a good time of year to have you on, too, because I know this is like busy hot cocoa season. And I was like, we should get you back on the show. And right before I hit record, I also said, I feel like every time I open LinkedIn, you're the first thing that pops up. You're just like in my algorithm. I see you all the time. So, Dean, thanks for coming back and taking the time, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. I can't believe the time goes so fast. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. All right. So first and foremost, Dean, anyone who doesn't know you, didn't see the first episode, would you mind giving everyone just a little bit of a recap, just a little bit of an elevator pitch of who you are and your brand?
Absolutely. Well, I'm the crazy dad who was trying to perfect hot cocoa with my two kids back in 2012, which is kind of hard to believe. But through this whole process, I found out when I told my daughter Jen that I was going to try to make the best hot cocoa in the world, that I was OCD enough to spend the next year of my life trying to do that. And just kind of got a little carried away. And next thing you know, we're in Costco, Target, and it's crazy.
That's nuts, man. Yeah, when I had you on the first time, I remember it was really like a Costco rotation at that point. You were in some places in Minneapolis, but I know for a fact, I re-listened to it. You were basically saying that Costco rotation every year was kind of the big piece of the business that you were banking on. And then I think what really had me reach out the first time as like a second time coming on the show is Target. I was like, oh shit, this is a big deal. We got Target in the mix now. This is big. With everyone can obviously listen to the first one. I don't want to reiterate all the questions I asked the first time, but the first thing that comes to mind is, I know from the first episode that you started this business in a way that I truly respect, and is the hardest way to do it, which is you basically bootstrapped it and did it all yourself. What was it like since we've talked last time on, Costco's gotten bigger? I know from my experience at our X Bar, like getting the Target business is a whole beast of an opportunity, but also just then preparing the product and the cash that it takes to produce all this product for Target. So would love to just hear the war story that has been the last few years at a high level of just what has it been like to get some of these big accounts and challenges and the most memorable parts of it for you?
Yeah, it's crazy because Costco and Target were on my dream board, like way down. Like, I knew I would have to go through certain other, retailers and a lot of growth in other different ways before we could. And it was probably completely crazy of me at the time to think that we would even be in Costco and Target, because I know how hard it is to get into those retailers. I really believe we've lucked out. In so many different ways. We've had it tough in so many different ways, but we've also had these things that just kind of come into our possibility that surprised us. I mean, Costco approached us about going into Costco, and
That's crazy.
I don't think it's
right?
supposed to go that way, but I think if we pitched them, maybe it would have been different. We would have probably been pitching and pitching and pitching. And had brokers working on it. But just to have a buyer reach out and say, I love your product. I saw it in a coffee shop. And would you ever consider going into Costco?
That's the craziest story, because I remember that from the first time. That cannot happen to too many products that have ever been in Costco, which goes to show how good your product is. Your product is delicious.
Thank you.
Wait, you got to tell me this. Was it a similar story with Target?
Target was one where we had kind of pitched a little bit before COVID, and then it was like off the table. I don't even really remember now how the whole Target thing happened, but we pitched it. There was COVID. It was off the burner for a while, and then we got a test for Target, and the first year went well. And then the second year went even better. And now we just submitted our paperwork for another big round of stores for a fall reset. So
now is the Target rotation? Is it a rotation, or is it all year round, or how does it work with Target with the category? Oh wow, congrats. Okay, I don't think I knew that part.
We're in 200 stores.
Wow.
But we're in like upper Midwest, and then in each major metro they have some for fulfillment purposes. So like San Diego has a couple, Los Angeles, New York, Miami.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, Brooklyn. You
I
know?
mean, that's a huge shift, though, too, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because on the first time we chatted, the biggest takeaway I had, I thought it was just so wild how you guys had like really, I can't remember the analogy you used, but it was you talked about kind of everything building and preparing through the summer and even in the fall to be ready to fulfill like late fall to get ready for hot cocoa season during the winter months.
Yeah,
But switching to an all year round, I mean, I'm sure demand's lighter when it's hot out, but I mean, that's a different ballgame, though. Always having kind of an always on, right? Probably.
yeah. It,
Do you
it's
enjoy that though? It's probably a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for a long time we thought this is wonderful. We really just have to make enough in the spring and summer to fulfill the winter, and then to
Yeah.
carry enough through until the next production run in the next spring or summer. Now we're running them basically every quarter. It's
Okay. Yeah. It's like
you know
always on now.
a
Yeah.
different beast with of course Target, and fortunately in the I guess 2.5 years since we've been slowly growing with Target, we've never missed a shipping date, which is
Wow.
every week.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's every week, and yeah, so that's been good.
What's the key to that?
Oh well, a great fulfillment center.
Okay.
We've been really, really lucky that first of all, it's a couple miles from Target headquarters. Brooklyn Park is where our 3PL is, and
Okay.
just being able to find a really, really good one that works with Target a
That
lot
is,
because they're a
I was
couple
gonna
miles
say
away.
I might have to like connect with you offline on that one. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with over the years where I mean that's just like such a hindrance to growth is the 3PL
Oh
situation.
man,
And I really know I've had one gentleman on here who runs a really, really great operation. Connor, shout out to him if he's listening. Besides that, honestly, it's tough goes. So that's great. I mean, it's great to know you found something that's diamond in the rough for most brands.
yeah. It's a company that they started smaller and had some growing pains as they grew. Now they're like this just mind-boggling 3PL. They're fantastic.
And not missing one with Target. There's like I think don't you get penalized if you
Yeah,
do miss? Yeah, I was gonna
definitely.
say. So that's like it's good in a lot of ways, right?
Yep.
What has been so? I mean that's exciting, and congratulations on everything with Target and Costco expansion. What have some of the other retail wins been outside of the two big ones?
That as well as we're now talking to another club, East Coast Club, BJ's.
Yeah,
We're now talking to them about possibly next season. Talking to another Costco region, so that would be cool. And what else? Oh, we're also in a onboarding program with Delta,
oh, nice.
favorite airline, and so
Oh, that's a good
we get
idea.
to
That
do
would
a
be such a nice thing to have on a plane ride.
yeah. We actually had worked with them another one before COVID, and they loved the product. They wanted to start it in first class, especially international first class,
Yeah.
and also for the Delta Sky lounges. And
Oh,
then
great.
COVID
Yeah.
happened, and now we're back at it with talking with them. But that's been so. There's Target, Costco, Delta. Those were my three far goals on my dream board. And
Wow.
so yeah, and we're now in this program with Delta, where hopefully we can get something at least going with that.
That's a being on a plane. It's funny the options, how bad they still are, in my opinion, like
Yeah,
across the board, just like what you can get. So that's a cool one, man. Because that one I would think too. When I was at our X Bar, we did do. I don't know if it was Delta. It might have been Delta. We did a test with a couple airlines, and there was a lot of volume, obviously, and it's great trial. Like you're stuck
yeah,
on a plane. There's not very good options. If you're a good brand with something great, you're going to get people to try it and probably hold on to it or remember it. It's like I always said it's a trial mechanism that is so easily remembered. Like being on a plane and trying a food or beverage that you really love. I feel
yeah,
like, I don't know why, it's just my opinion, but it's very different than getting like a sample in a store or even at Costco. Like how many of those have you gotten? But on a plane, like how many good experiences have you had with a food or beverage? It's a
yeah.
lot fewer. You know
I
what I mean?
always think that might have been my first exposure to the Biscoff cracker
I think you're right. I think
cookies.
for
Yeah,
me too.
I remember getting those, going, "Where have these been all my life?"
That's a good point. That's
Right?
probably, you know what? That's hilarious. That's probably like everyone's first experience with those.
Yeah,
I have never thought about that. That's so funny. And look at those guys; they're crushing it.
man.
Yeah, I wonder how long they've been on airlines. They've probably been on airlines for decades at
Yeah,
this point.
exactly.
Um, so okay, lots of exciting things on the retail front. What about the team? Is it still a very small organization team? Have you guys changed anything?
There's just two
Have
of
you
us.
pivoted at all? Yeah, amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a work harder, not smarter kind of guy. But Amanda is smarter, not harder, and she's also the financial brains. She's just amazing. In fact, a few people have tried to poach her off, and I'm like, no way,
Oh,
no way. But
and she's like,
they
you
just
held her in. That's good.
she's just amazing. So her whole thing is just constantly reevaluating. If a partner's like, I would be terrible boss because like I'd have a hard time firing people. And Amanda, I think she'd be just fine with that. Just, if somebody's not working, if somebody's not right, if somebody's not, completely aligned, you just have to move on. And I do see that now, where we've got our 3PL who's mind blowing. We've got our new contract packager, which is beyond every dream I could ever have imagined as a co-packer. They've exceeded and they've just crushed it. They're our partner in every way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's probably hard to find too in that industry, I
it
would
is.
assume. I don't know a lot about it, but I just for the high level, even like what I see at Expo,
Yeah,
I can only imagine there's just so many, and it seems like such a churning industry where I'm sure they don't get treated well. So I'm sure if you
no,
find one and you guys have a good relationship, I'm sure that's like it's an important one, and probably just again that's one where yeah, I bet they get treated so poorly by most of the brands they get to work with that it probably goes
absolutely.
both ways.
I totally get it. When we first tried to get a co-packer in 2017, nobody would talk to me. It was, and I get it now. We wanted to do like 5,000 pounds, and to us that was huge. I nobody would return my emails, my phone calls, and so we finally did get one that was probably tired of me emailing and calling, that said that they would do it for 10,000 pounds. And I thought, I'll be on the corner selling this stuff. It's That's a lot of go-go. And now this year we're expecting 300,000 pounds.
Oh wow, congrats. Gee
Thank
whiz.
you. Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, I mean, wow, that's a lot.
a
Nice.
lot of hot go-go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of hot cocoa.
Mostly in like 5 months too,
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it still very, I'm sure,
Oh
heavily
yeah.
weighted to the winter months? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Now, do you guys want to expand into anything else? I want to bring. This is one of the big concepts I wanted to talk to because I this might just be the industry. Like I work with a lot of brands in the Amazon space that are across different categories. One of the things that it just is very typical in CPG is you get a little taste of success as a brand, and then you tend to proliferate. Whether that's a ton of flavors, you see additional products, it just gets really complicated. And then I've seen it so many times where brands like they take their eye off the ball of the thing that got them into position in the first place, with all these other things they thought would really elevate the business. And I've never told you this, but like watching you from afar after having you on the podcast the first time, that's something I've always thought of. I'm like, I feel like Dean, and I don't know the why, but it's cool to see. I'm like, he's really like stuck to what works really well. What's his best product? He's spent tons of time on this product. Um, so yeah, that was more of just like a general question I wanted to ask you about is like, I guess why, number one, and two, I think kudos to you. I think it's easy to get distracted by like a million different ideas that you could go run with, and you think there's huge potential. Ultimately, most brands, I think they let off the gas on their best selling thing before they've even come close to getting it fully out there into the world.
Man, I couldn't agree more. Basically, it's SKU management, inventory, just focusing on, I set out to do one thing, which was to improve a, a hot cocoa mix. Um, and I get a lot of, I'm the crazy guy who has like all the idea bubbles and everything. And Amanda comes over and she just pops them all, and she's like, okay, let's just focus on this one. So she kind of keeps me going.
You kind of need that though in business. My co-founder is the exact same way. I'm definitely
Really?
more like you, or I feel
Yeah.
like I could get distracted on like this could be the next thing that I need to work on or
Yep.
change this process. And he's always like, let focus, hold on, let's
Yeah.
just stay on what's working and what we're doing.
Yeah. She's the Ethel to my Lucy. I swear. I mean, she,
That's funny.
But yeah, she's really good about, she's her brain thinks a lot different than my crazy entrepreneurial, idea brain. But it's so important. I've seen a lot of business partners who don't have that complementary, relationship, and it's absolutely what has fueled our growth. Just keeping us focused on what we set out to do. We did add a SKU last year, and
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
yeah,
But it still felt like a very organic extension. That
totally.
wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't like you went into like CBD night
No,
pout, like like night drinks or something after
right.
the hot cocoa.
Yeah. It's a, I've always believed from the very beginning, I used to think, well, this is kind of, not an exciting category. There's not been a lot of, invention or change in the cocoa category. You go into any store, you don't see a whole ton of innovation or, differences over the years. It's not flashy. It's just a category that's always going to be there. And it had some room for reinventing premium. And, just the thought that, we could take a $10 bag of cocoa in grocery. There was always a lot of, when I would talk to retailers, they'd be like, we can't come close to like $10 for a bag of cocoa. So we had a lot of work to do. I remember thinking, that our biggest account other than Costco is Meijer stores. I mean, we just
Oh, okay.
blow it out of the water at Meijer. We weren't sure how it would, we're not as familiar with the brand. And people said, no, you're gonna have a problem with a premium product in a Meijer store. And it grew 40% last year with every
Oh, wow.
store. And it's just,
And what do you price that at Meijer?
we're at 10.49, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was say, yeah. How big of a bag is it in
it's a
Meijer?
12 ounce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I
think
mean, it's
also,
funny. Yeah, the Meijer consumer, because I grew up really close to one when I lived in Indiana,
yeah,
and I never thought it's so funny because I was a kid, right? So I really didn't think much of it. This is where we always went to get our groceries. But as I've gotten older, they are kind of like this weird mix of like lower end. Like it's not definitely not like a Walmart, but
yeah,
it's not like a higher. It's a weird. I always try to explain it to people. They're like, "Oh, Meijer? What's a Meijer?" Who never have been. And out of all the retailers, I feel like it's the hardest to explain.
yeah. It's like we thought, okay, we're gonna give it a chance. It cost. It wasn't all that much to get in to all the stores, and we thought, let's give it a shot, and it's growing every year. I mean,
Wow.
that it's crazy. Myers
It seems like
definitely,
yeah, I was gonna say it seems like that could be a workhorse. I could see that though,
yeah,
because your product kind of fits between that. Like kind of like how do I explain it? Your product is premium,
hmm,
but it's not trying to be. You said this really well in the first podcast. It's premium ingredients, but it's not trying to be this like in your face healthier version of anything, right? Like you look at all these categories and everything's trying to be the healthy version of XYZ.
yeah,
You're just trying to be the best quality of hot cocoa, which is that's something that you don't see very often, even in our industry, I would argue. So maybe that is like the perfect retail play.
yeah. It's been
I haven't really thought about it before you brought that up.
like we've had people say you would do terrible in Walmart, and um, you know, but then there's Meyer. We just crush it in Meyer. It's really interesting.
You know, it's funny though. Walmart, I feel like is they're making some moves. Have you been in a Walmart recently?
Yeah, yep. Yesterday, actually,
Like the innovation sets and stuff they're trying to push.
I saw
I
that.
saw. Do you know what Cadence is by chance? It's like a beverage brand. Well, I call it a beverage brand. It's funny I said that. They didn't start that way. They're like you should look them up. Very interesting. I believe they actually are based out of the UK, but they're all over the country, all over the world now. They're really like endurance products. Think like gels and salt drinks, and they're for like marathon running is what I always call it, or
Gotcha.
like
Okay.
endurance running. But I think they're trying to make a play into just like general beverage. And I saw they just got a huge like front end cap at Walmart, which I was thinking to myself, like, I can't imagine the average marathon runner is a big Walmart consumer. That just
Yeah.
isn't, to me, that doesn't like, those two don't necessarily feel like they would be the same demographic. But yeah, I would disagree. I think Walmart could be a huge play for you guys. It would be interesting because I always feel like brands that end up doing well in Target have a chance to do really well in Walmart if they can figure out a little differentiation point between the two, just to make sure it's not like apples to apples competitive. I think when we were at our X bar, we just changed the pack size, if I remember correctly. We did like a smaller one at Walmart, and then we had like a, what do we do? Because our typical boxes was 12, so I think we did 10 at Target.
Okay.
Did something like that. It was just like slightly different.
Yeah.
So like it was like the overall price point was lower. So if someone on our website and just wasn't paying attention to 12 versus 10, it would look like it's way cheaper at Target, but it also had 2 less bars.
God, oh, that's smart.
It's always little games they play. No, Walmart could be interesting. Are you guys are you trying to keep your retail push right now mainly where it's cold in the winter, or are you guys thinking like, does that not matter as much? Like, is hot cocoa consumption, is it changed at all since we last chatted? Is it
Yeah,
like in warmer climates? Is it happening?
It hasn't a whole lot. Yeah, definitely the period in the South where selling period in the South is definitely different than the North.
Yeah,
but
right.
we've never expanded really to the Pacific Northwest, the Northeast.
What about like the plains and like I don't know, like Montana, Colorado, that area?
Still not there either. No.
No. Okay. All right. So you got lots of room.
A couple targets in each of the metro, but yeah, that's
sure. Wow.
Ski resorts. We would love to be in places like that.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, ski resorts would be a huge one.
Yeah, it's been hard.
We need to get some people listening to this.
It's been hard. It's been hard to find how to get in because I think they're like the big suppliers. The big. Trying to think of the name of the distributor.
I'll have to. Yeah, I will. I'll follow up with you after the podcast. When I was at RX, we signed a really cool deal where we got into like Vail's whole system, because you know how Vail owns like all of those resorts now out west. And I'll have to look it up. It's been a long time since I was like in that world. It was probably like 2020, 2021, 2019 even. But it was remarkable because it was one of those things where it was like as soon as you crack the door open of the communication for that, it basically got you distribution across all Vail resorts. It was like, which is kind of crazy, right? It's like every ski resort. For you guys, that'd be perfect.
Vail Resorts was actually that was on my dream board too, Vail Resorts.
Was it really?
It's crazy.
Okay, hey, after the last podcast, the time between, we got some of those checked off. We just got to check off the rest here, and we'll have this podcast every couple of years. So team is still the same size. I'm impressed by that, because that to me, that has to be, do you just work a lot more hours then?
Yeah, I work. I work quite a bit.
Last time you said you worked a lot.
It's kind of hard to stop. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, of course, it's your baby. What has been like what's been the biggest surprise or biggest headwind since we last chatted? Can you think of anything major for anyone listening to the podcast that maybe they're trying to start their own business or thinking about getting and starting their own food or beverage company? What has been like a growing pain of since it hasn't really been team, it's been more of just the brand itself and retail expansion. What have some of the growing pains look like?
One of my big growing pains is all the different spreadsheets that the retailers have me fill out because I hate them.
That's a good one.
And some of them were created in 1996. This is the same Word document or Excel file from. That's a pain point. You would think that, major retailers would have all these back end systems where you can just, enter stuff online, but it's always like sending an Excel file or something. But in terms of.
It's true. It's so archaic. It's right.
Isn't it? Yeah. In terms of growth wise, our biggest was always funding, of course. And that was, we had this line of credit, we were self funded. We had this one bank that believed in us enough. Amanda and I, we sold everything, to live as lean as possible. And so we could go all in, but then, collateral to, back up, lines of credit, totally understandable. So it's been like 20%, 25%. I always like to say we're the tortoise in the hare. We are the tortoise. We just plodded along 20, 25%, year after year, trying to grow because, when you have to outlay all this money in the spring to manufacture the product and you don't get the money back until some point in the winter.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a lot of time where you're carrying this, this inventory, and you got to prepay. If you don't self-manufacture, you've got to prepay all that stuff in advance. So. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. And I'm assuming as it's gotten bigger, it just makes like the spread even bigger and
Yeah.
longer, right?
I remember
Um,
some long nights where you can't sleep because you're trying to figure out how you're going to get the money to buy the product that you need for Costco or what have you. Um, and now we're with a
yeah.
co-packer who said we'll fund all of that. It's
Well,
unbelievable.
good for you
It's
guys.
the biggest dream come true. They're like, yeah, we'll
Wow.
pre-fund all this, and you just pay us back when you get it. And really, like dream terms, really. So we were really
Wow. But yeah. I mean, that's really cool too to find a partner that would be like they understand the dynamics of the timelines of your
yeah.
business and would work
They're
with you on that. Wow, very
they're
cool.
a partner in every way. It's I didn't think we could find a co-packer like we did.
And given the growth you guys are seeing and where you're heading, is that do you think that's a pace that you can keep up with? Like just the way that you're thinking about doing it? Or are you guys ever gonna try to go raise money? You guys want to keep bootstrapping it? Like that's such a for any food and beverage brand I've ever talked to, I feel like that's such a crisscross at some point usually, where everyone has to decide what they try or try not to do. Is that it's the goal to try to keep bootstrapping as long as you can?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, just because it keeps us nimble and keeps us in control of what we can take on.
for sure.
With being able to pre-fund this inventory, um, just bring a purchase order, and I mean, I never thought we would have that. It's really, really, I would have to think it's rare, but they want to become partners that they will grow with us and potentially eventually, become part of.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, especially if they see where it could grow and where you guys are at. I mean, man, if you're smart, that'd be a good way to help a brand get through a time where, cash flow is delayed and hopefully there's a bigger opportunity for all you guys down the road. Wild, man. That's really cool. It's cool to see that like nothing had to drastically change for you to still keep moving rung by rung up the ladder, especially unlocking Target. I don't think you were in Meyer last time we chatted. So that's new.
I think that's
Um, are you excited for like now that you made it through this winter and you have some big conversations? What's like a year in the life of Dean look like now? Like I mean, it's almost the end of January, so you're basically almost through with the sell season go through February, I'm assuming.
yeah. We're
It's a big
we're
one.
out of every product except for what we need for Target until we had a production run completed. Well, we had production runs completed over the summer that we thought would carry us over through the whole winter. In September, we started to panic because it was just evaporating. So we had another
Wow.
production run, which we picked up in November. And that 15,000 bags, which we thought, okay, that'll get us through, and that's gone. In December, that was gone, other than we kept out what we thought we needed for Target. Now we have another production run, which is coming early February. But yeah, it's good and bad problems. We're out of our single serves. We're out of our 2.5 pound bags, the size that goes to club, although they're done for the season, at the clubs. Yeah, we have
I
our
feel like
mocha
I feel like
lattes.
club always freaks me. Not freaks me out. It's probably not the right word. It's crazy how quick they move to the next thing.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't. It's almost like right now is people. I mean,
I
it's gonna
know.
be. I mean, you're north of me, but I'm in Chicago, so it's gonna be like -35 wind chill
Yeah,
tonight. Like hot chocolate would be. My wife literally just went to go to Costco, so I'm like, this would be the time
I know.
to get hot cocoa. Why would we? Why are we talking about Easter
Right, and they
in the
said they want
spring?
it. They want it gone pretty much by first week of January, so they can put spring stuff out. And I was like,
That's
wow.
crazy. They just don't want. They just don't want anything to feel like it's late. I feel
Yep,
like at
for
Costco, they're
sure.
so like forward thinking, which you got to give them credit. It works. Wow, that's nuts. So I said all of that, like, wow, it's crazy that you guys have, not crazy, but it's cool that you guys have really been able to stay right in your lane and focus and triple down. As I say that, another question I obviously had was like, are you guys thinking about expanding any further? You added a second flavor. Are you thinking about doing anything additional, anything outside of what you've been selling?
Not at this time, just because it's just managing, our SKUs. 12 ounce is our bread and butter for grocery. Interestingly enough, even though we'll do 300,000 pounds, we can't get in UNFI or KE. We've tried, we've done every little pitch thing we've done. We just never really
That's
had.
surprising,
Yeah,
especially with
it's
the distribution you have. That actually surprises me. Are
so we have
you
smaller
well?
distributors, and that's been good for us.
I was say I don't want to. I don't want to act like I know everything about it, but my experience and then just what I hear through my own clients, sometimes I wonder if that's a blessing in disguise. Like the Unify KE thing is wild.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot more crazy since I left our X bar too. Like I got to see, like I used to oversee revenue management. So I'd see all the trade and all the deductions we'd have. Like that was my team. And it was ludicrous. Like that process is insane. It's interesting as I've started to work with younger brands. And sometimes it's like, I almost wonder if it's a blessing because there's so many potholes with those guys that can really, 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 really ruin a year financially. They're just hard to work with. Have you thought about that or navigating around that as you continue to grow? I'm sure that's still a conversation within founders in the industry, right?
Right. Like actually, I kind of love the smaller distributors. Well, Lapari is not exactly small anymore.
Yeah, they've gotten big. They were pretty small back when I knew of them.
Yeah.
So, but I know they've gotten a lot bigger. Yeah.
And they've been really good. Yeah, some of the smaller distributors, and in Target, they just come and pick it up we ship it to the Target DCs every week. But
that makes it simple and easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, like an account like Costco or Target is sometimes easier to manage than, like a small gift store who's, upset with you or
yeah, of course. Like, yeah.
1,000 stores, it's sometimes, Target's it's easy. I don't really have to do much.
Yeah. That's one of those kind of turnkey retailers that tell me if it's changed. Cause again, I'm like dating myself, but it's like, if product has velocity and you fulfill the POs that they send, like they usually stay pretty happy. Like that's kind of the keys for them, right? It's like, don't screw them on price. Fulfill the stuff they need. And they tend to be pretty happy customers.
Yeah, it's been great so far. Costco's easy as pie.
Are you guys doing any digital media to help push Target, Costco? Are you guys doing like Instacart or Roundel or any of those?
We just put in for the next round of stores. Like we'll find out if we're going to get another 800 stores on February 12th. So that would be pretty cool. And then they just put out another push for more stores for fall for their P-Fresh stores.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we put in some Roundel support and stuff for that, even some end cap stuff.
The reason I ask is I think like Instacart and anything digital media for you guys, given the premium nature of your brand, I would assume, I'm just making an assumption here because we help some brands with Instacart too. Those like legacy cocoa brands they don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Transparently, it's probably a huge opportunity for you guys, even just on keywords that are, basic hot cocoa type keywords. They're not doing anything.
Wow. So that's part of the problem is like, we don't really know what we're doing. So like
it's a big ocean.
Circle, Roundel, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants and
sure. Yeah. Instacart would be interesting for you guys because Instacart, I think one of the hacks, most people that listen to this maybe know this, but when I started working with Instacart, it was a big like aha moment for me was you can shop Instacart without having a Costco membership.
No way.
Yeah. And so the way that works is basically the shoppers that are going to go get your groceries for you, they are Costco members. So when I remember this when I first started working with Instacart years and years ago, when I realized it was a retailer in the list, I was like, wait, how's that even possible? Because I'm not showing my ID. And then I realized, and then when I figured that out and started talking to people over there, it was just really eye-opening because I'm like, oh. So just so you know, like it's interesting when there's brands in Costco, and I always found that, especially if you were in a category where you felt like for whatever reason, like every other place you're crushing other brands, but then in just certain Costco regions, other brands that you're competing against are just doing a little bit better than you.
Gotcha.
You can't get all this information. It's not like public or anything, but if you talk to some people, you can usually figure out like, are they at least running Instacart ads? Because if you're running Instacart ads, I always say it kind of like, just like if you're watching, you'll see this, but it's like, let's just easy numbers say like you do 75 units a week in Costco.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be uncommon then to say the brands that are running Instacart ads, maybe they add 25. So now it looks like to just Costco, and for you guys, when you get like your reviews, it looks like that brand did 100 units a week on average. And that's like, that becomes maybe the baseline. But like what you don't know is like, oh, they were just funding a fourth of that they were getting people digitally through Instacart. So brands that just aren't doing Instacart, I'm always saying like, I'm a finance guy by heart, but
yeah.
So like you got to make sure it's profitable and you're running it smartly, but if it has a healthy ROI, It's an interesting play because you're just going to get all of these incremental consumers that aren't going to walk into a Costco necessarily, but they'll definitely love your product, and they're willing to pay premium because all those products on Instacart, I don't know if you've ever used it. Like you're basically like, let's say your cocoa's $9.99 at Costco, just for easy numbers. When you shop on Instacart, you don't pay for shipping on your order, but the price per unit, like your hot cocoa might be $11.99 on Instacart.
Gotcha.
So they just bake in like a couple extra bucks for the shipping. But like as a consumer, you'd have to go into Costco and compare like, what am I seeing on Instacart versus on the shelf? Because you don't pay like a shipping fee or delivery fee. Yeah. So anyway, just to leave that with you, it's a very interesting play for you guys, especially since Costco is such a big
part of your business.
Yeah, definitely. I was just, even if you just look at it, it'd be interesting to for you guys to think about doing. That's exciting, man. You guys are doing great. Are you? The other thing I know I wanted to ask you about was international, like Canada. Is that something you guys have thought about? That seems like another huge unlock for you guys.
Yeah, we had thought about it, but never quite. Well, one problem was we didn't really have money to even grow out our base here.
Yeah, my brain was going to like, where is it cold all the time, or at least longer stretches of cold.
In Duluth, Minnesota, where I live, is pretty much Canada anyway.
That's true. Yeah, you're about as cold as for as long as it. That's a good point. Yeah. Anyway, that's funny. Yeah, food's tough too. I know when we expanded into Canada, like the whole French packaging thing's a whole curveball. Yeah. That's a whole, like, it doesn't sound like that much when you say it. You have to have French on the packaging, but then when you go through the process of doing that, I don't know if you've gone down that rabbit hole at all. I remember sitting in an RX bar meeting and we were looking at it, and I remember sitting there being like, where the hell are we going to fit French on this packaging? Like, you look at RX bar, it's like, it's got words everywhere, you know? So yeah, that's a challenge, but that could be a big unlock for you. I don't know. I'm just spitballing things here. I'm having fun. Dean, I appreciate it, man. This has been really fun. What's the big thing on the horizon for 2026, whether it's, expanding something operationally, team, retailers? Is there anything that's kind of like, if I saw your goals written down right now, what's like the big things for Mike and Jen's this year?
Club growth, definitely. It's seasonal. It's an in and out kind of thing every year. So to be able to expand into BJ's wholesale, and then continue to expand with Costco, that's just great for us. They awesome, pretty much give us a commitment in the spring. We know what they want, and then they come and pick it all up, and it's done. And then also continuing target growth, and cross your fingers for this Delta thing.
I'm telling you, I could have sworn we had a conversation on here last time and someone heard it. I remember maybe we had a conversation or someone messaged me. I don't remember. I definitely have had conversations with someone at a retailer that I'm friends with that heard our podcast, and then it'll happen. I'm just going to put good juju out there.
Yeah, it's manifesting it.
I'm flying on a flight I'm flying United in a few weeks. I'll have to make sure people know on there too. I'll start talking about it.
Every time we go on a flight, we bring the little care package of our cocoa.
It's a brilliant idea, because I can only imagine, there's just not a lot of, this is the funny thing. I don't drink, so there's not a lot of good non-alcoholic options unless you do like a Diet Coke or something.
Right.
And pilots obviously can't. So I feel like it'd be great. Like if pilots get a little hot chocolate while they're flying, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I think it would just be amazing, especially international and first class. They'll have really an offering for kids or people who don't drink coffee as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a good call.
We talked to a distributor that distributes to the airlines, and he's like, this is genius. So that was
Yeah. It seems like a no-brainer. Like literally, I always feel like every time I fly, I'm like, there's just I have like two options. Like I can either have a water, a coffee, or maybe a Diet Coke.
Yep.
I don't like sugar either. So I'm like, I'm not, it's like, I'm not going to get like a full-blown Coke or anything.
Right.
So the questions I always ask at the end, this one I'm excited to hear if anything's changed. I don't know if you remember these questions or not, but the first one is just, what do you use to plan your yearly goals, bigger goals, all the way down to like, what's the stuff that Dean's got to get done today? Are you a pen and paper kind of guy? Do you use the Notes app on your phone? Do you have some other app? Like what do you use to stay organized and get stuff done?
Amanda. No.
There you go. Everyone needs one of those.
No, I'm totally a pen and paper kind of guy. I'm almost 57. So just kind of in that. I just love seeing, jotting it down when I have it near me. But I also use.
I'm so with you. I'm
Are you? That's awesome.
always. It's funny. Like I do think it's like I've become more like AI native and digitally native everything. And running an e-commerce agency, you think my answer would be, though I got some like crazy system.
Yeah.
Every time I try to make a system, it always
Same
ends
thing.
up getting overly complicated, and then I get frustrated and I abandon it.
Yep.
But this bad boy, nothing lets me down like a
Exactly.
planner,
And
piece
you
of
can
paper. I
flip
tell you
back
what.
through it. We also use
That's the coolest thing is like looking back through things you've written down. I think it's like the craziest thing about writing stuff down is you're like, man, I don't remember even
right.
thinking that, feeling that. But it's cool to know. It's a very reflective process.
Yep.
But sorry, I'll let you answer
Oh
your
no.
question.
We also use Google Calendar, any list, so that we can both. But it's and she's probably running 30 spreadsheets right as we speak. She's just
Probably got AI doing half of it. Yeah.
man. She's got spreadsheets of spreadsheets, and she knows every number. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's good that you have a partner like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like both sides of the house. Those
Totally.
are all the best businesses I've ever met with co-founders. That's how it works. It's
Yep.
never that they're both the same. They got to be almost the total opposite of each other.
Right. 20 years best friends. We've not fought yet, so it's pretty good.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge. 20 years. Yeah. Wow. Hopefully you guys don't have a fight, because I feel like once you do,
And then it would be the blowout.
breaks
Yeah.
the streak and everything. Yeah, the blowout. Exactly. So pen and paper. The last question, Dean, that I love to ask is just source of knowledge. So for everyone listening today, has there been a book you've read recently or a podcast you've listened, just something as I asked that pops into your brain that you think people, it's worth their time and energy to go learn and listen to?
Sure. I guess I've talked to a lot of people like who've been here.
Okay.
That's always helpful. I don't read a lot of books because I'm too ADD or something. I don't know. I read lots on the internet. I read lots, on my phone at night. I'm just consuming a lot of data. And now, like between ChatGPT and Gemini, I'm just like a madman, trying
I know
to.
it's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's wow. It's mind-boggling. Used to have to Google and go to all these different articles or pages and try to assimilate. And as long as you're careful that you're getting the right information, and cross-checking, I love that. That's been huge for us.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think this year is going to be the year where there's a lot of people that were on the fence that dive in fully to AI and start to leverage it. I'm on it all the time. I mean, it's just like anytime I think of a question or like, am I doing this the best way?
Right.
Or even just like a gut check of
Yeah.
a thing I feel like that's been. I mean, you really have to be humble, and I do. I hope people think of me like that. Like I really do. Like if I think this is the answer,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's the answer. I know it is. I love going to ChatGPT and being wrong. It's like my favorite thing.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, I was totally wrong.
Yep.
Like I learned something new today. That's like one of my favorite things to do with it. And you're like, I'm sure everyone that listens does this, but it's really funny. Like me and my wife, we'll talk about something and we're like, hold on, and we'll look it up and we're like, damn it. Now there's like a third party
totally
speaker in the room at all times now. You can't get away with anything.
That's fair. It's
that's
great,
awesome, man. And so
great tool.
very, very, very last question, Dean, for you. And I know we're running out of time. For everyone listening, what's the best place to try the product, get involved with the brand, get involved if they have any questions or want to get a hold of you, if you want to say any of that, just an opportunity for you to plug.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking for new retailers and distributors, airlines, if you're out there. But Target.com has it. We are, kind of the mocha lattes are the only thing right now we have on Amazon. Everything else blew out.
Okay.
But
no surprise there.
Yeah. But Amazon and Target are the consistent ones that we have.
Love it, man. I'll add links to the show notes for everyone to go find it. Dean, thank you so much. Are you going to be at Expo this year?
No, I wish we were, but
no,
not this year.
All right. It's the one trip I usually make a year. So I'm going to ask. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for the time, Dean. I appreciate it. It was so good to catch up with you and hear more about the brand, and wish you the best of luck this year, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.